It is so easy to shoot yourself in the foot in early sobriety by simply just creating too big of a goal that is not reachable. So what we're going to talk about is how to set smaller and achievable goals to help you in your early sobriety and be able to build confidence that you are going to need. Let's get into it. So what even is a compound effect or compound interest? Compound effect, let's define it. The compound effect is a principle that small, consistent actions, choices, or habits, whether positive or negative, accumulate over time and create massive results. Instead of relying on sudden dramatic changes, the power lies in repetition of small behaviors that build momentum and lead to long-term transformation. So, some examples of small, consistent actions over time that lead to massive results are just simply walking 2,000 steps more than you usually do. This is going to lead to weight loss and better cardiovascular health. It's not saying I gotta walk 10,000 or 20,000 steps a day, just 2,000 steps extra every day. Another example of this would be posting a piece of content daily. This is gonna help you build a strong personal brand. This attracts opportunities. When I started this social media, I just started with little posts over a long period of time, and it grew and grew and grew from there. So again, small actions over a long period of time. Practicing gratitude daily is going to help you so much with a positive outlook, and is going to also help build resilience. Reframing one limiting belief per week is going to help you have a completely new empowered mindset over time. Journaling a few sentences every night is going to give you a deeper self-awareness, and it's going to help you with emotional regulation. Also, reading 10 pages per day. This is going to have dozens of books finished by the end of the year, expanding your knowledge and expanding your skills. It is so important. Spending 10 minutes daily on self-care. This is going to reduce stress and greater sense of self and well-being. Woo! Talk about a tongue tie. Drinking more water every single day, just 1 glass of water per day, is going to help you have better hydration. Hydrate. It's going to help with digestion. It's going to help with your energy levels. Overall, water, you need it. It's your best friend. Learn to love it. So, when we see the compound effect of positives, we have to remind ourselves that success in sobriety isn't about one big change. It's about the daily choices that you make, the little things that you do every day that build momentum and create lasting transformation. We have to set little tiny, what seem in the moment meaningless goals, and do those consecutively, and you will have the results in the future. You just won't have it now. Hello, instant gratification versus delayed gratification. All right, every choice compounds, whether it is a positive or a negative. So skipping one call or ignoring cravings once in a while or isolating might not seem like a big deal, but repeating those choices adds up. And now on the flip side, showing up, checking in, and doing the inner work daily may not feel dramatic, but over time, it completely rewires your brain and habits, therefore giving you a better chance of going the distance with your sobriety. Very important to do the work and to not avoid the work. The power of small, consistent actions, positive compounding in sobriety, attending calls regularly, right? Or if you're a part of another community that's in person, but being around people who are not only just like-minded, but have the same goals in mind as you, because then you're able to enjoy the camaraderie of teamwork and fellowship and come together right now. So building strong connection and accountability by just simply showing up to calls, showing up to meetings, right? And the power of connection is so important, because the opposite of addiction is not sobriety. The opposite of addiction is connection. We need to flood in with human connection to help us through our sobriety. And also going to meetings helps you with your accountability, right? Journaling your thoughts and or emotions is going to strengthen self-awareness and emotional regulation, therefore giving you a better sense of self. Knowing yourself is going to help you through those emotions that may be stirring, bubbling up inside of you. replacing old habits with healthier ones, creating a sustainable lifestyle shift. So you may have used to cook and have some alcohol on the side, but now a new habit would be sipping a fun, alcohol-free mocktail, sparkling water, fruit juice, whatever, something on the side. I got Joe and the Juice today. Turmeric, urban tonic, it's delicious. Prioritizing sleep and hydration improves mood and energy long-term for your ultimate success. Celebrating small wins. Celebrating small wins is so important because in the grand scheme of it, when we look at sobriety, it's not like there's ever a finish line, right? That finish line keeps getting pushed back and you keep running after it, and your sobriety journey will transform into a self-discovery journey where you want to know all about yourself, and you're going to have you're going to have control of your emotions and your thoughts, and you're going to be in a different place just by celebrating the small wins, because it's in the day-to-day work where the magic lies. It's not in this big monumental change, right? A lot of us want to go to the gym 7 times a week and learn Mandarin and study Spanish and go running twice, a day, and all these crazy goals in hopes that you become great. But when you strive too high in the beginning and you haven't built those habits or built those skill sets yet, you end up, again, like I said in the beginning of the video, you shoot yourself in the foot. So it's not that you can't have big dreams, but you need to start smaller and build off of that rather than start big and fall big. Negative compounding in sobriety. Skipping meetings, skipping calls, and isolating could lead to disconnection and higher risk of slip-ups. It was always when I disappeared from my friends and wouldn't text people back and would go MIA that my isolation made the addiction side of my brain so much bigger and louder. Again, because the opposite of addiction is not sobriety, it is connection. And when you lack that connection, when you lack that human-to-human connection, you feel empty. And so what do we want to do when we feel empty? We want to drink about it, right? This will help, but it never does. Entertaining thoughts like just one won't hurt, just one, but it's never one. It's not. All right, so just don't even allow yourself to lie, because that reopens old patterns, and this is what negative compounding in sobriety is going to look like. Another example is letting your stress levels getting too high, not utilizing calling a friend, sitting with your thoughts, meditating, journaling, going on a walk, letting stress build up, not knowing what coping skills to use can push you towards old habits. And we don't want to go towards old habits. We want to create new habits. So we need to keep in mind that we cannot be overextending ourselves for every Tom, Dick, and Harry that asks for our help. We need to be willing to say, no. That's it. We just say no. My stress levels need to stay on this side of the scale, because when you're in early sobriety, you are extremely vulnerable. It's important to prioritize yourself. It's not selfish to show up for yourself. You are showing up for yourself. It's going to allow you to be a better you for the people around you. Also, negative compounding in sobriety. Not addressing limiting beliefs. Limiting beliefs are everything. These beliefs are what keep us attached to the bottle. They keep you stuck in the same mindset. Some examples of this would be, I can't have fun without alcohol. People won't like me if I don't drink. Or I need alcohol to cope with stress. Or I'm not strong enough to stay sober. Love that one. I've messed up too much to change. Sobriety is boring and restrictive. Sure, buddy. Keep telling yourself this narrative. When you tell yourself this narrative, you will keep yourself attached to the bottle, to alcohol, because you're reinforcing that mindset by simply speaking it. What we speak is our reality. What we focus on is what we experience. So let's talk about instant gratification versus long-term growth. We want growth. We want to be growing people. Growing people are happy people. So sobriety requires delayed gratification. You won't see results overnight, but consistency compounds. Using alcohol, drugs was about short-term relief, instant gratification, but it led to long-term harm. So in the book Dopamine Nation, they talk about the pain and pleasure scale. And when we're looking at the pain and pleasure scale, sure, you may dip into temporary instant gratification pleasure of drinking the alcohol, numbing out, disregarding any problems that you may have currently. But what this leads to is when we dip into the pleasure side of the scale, all we will feel after is pain, this long-term harm to ourselves, self-inflicted. Whereas if we were to just sit and tolerate the pain just a little while more, we would come to terms that it's gonna be okay. And history has proven we have made it through all of the bad things that have happened in our lives. And those things did not happen to you, they happen for you. They allow you to change the way that you move throughout your life. They allow you to be who you want to be because it allows you to fortify your mind and have a little grit. And facing that adversity is not a bad thing. You just have to tolerate the pain. That is the trick. So building a sober life is about short-term discipline that leads to long-term freedom, peace, and confidence. So when you see this path, it may seem like, oh my gosh, what a nice long path that is. Don't really question how it was built, but there was a guy at one point who was doing brick by brick, 1% better every single day, brick by brick, just trying your absolute hardest. So how do we use the compound effect to strengthen our sobriety? Let's talk about it. Using things like 1% better every day helped me so much. Focusing on small daily actions rather than perfection. So long I was like, it's got to be perfect. It's got to be all in or nothing, right? That all in or nothing mentality will really trip you up in your sobriety, because there's going to be some days that you just hit your non-negotiable, which is to not drink. Some days it may be 10 times harder to get out of bed. Some days you may not just feel like going to the gym. But as long as you hit your non-negotiable, that is what we are doing. That is the main goal that we are focused on. Sure, we want to add on top of that, right? Not drink, gym, this, that, da, 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 da. But we have to remember and remind ourselves that it's so important that we just focus on what it is we set out to do, especially in the beginning. If we could tack on a couple extra things, great, but don't stress yourself out. Tracking your progress, using progress trackers, using paper printed out just to simply track what you're doing, what your habits are. You know, the activity log that I have inside of school, which is the platform that I use for all of the women who are in my community, we have this and it shows you your activity. Obviously, I'm the owner of this community, so I'm pretty active, but I do like to look at this habit tracker because I know for myself that every single time I see a dark green, that means that I'm showing up and doing what I set out to do, that I said I would do. So having something like this is extremely useful, because there will be days where you'll say, I'm not doing anything great, or I haven't made any change, but then you look back and you're like, oh my gosh, like I'm 24 days sober and I've walked for 10 minutes every single day. Like that feels good, right? But in the moment, sometimes our brains will try to tell us that we're not doing anything worthwhile, right? So have a habit tracker. And if you don't have a habit tracker and you do like things like this, I guess this is where I will tell you I also have a community. And if you want to join this community, it's all women from all over the world who come together to work on their sobriety and are there to really be there for you every step of the way. And it's a family. It's beautiful. So if you'd like to join, message me underneath this video. Building identity-based habits. Instead of saying things like, I'm trying to stay sober, shift that into, I am a sober person, or I don't drink alcohol, or I don't poison my body, or say it louder for the people in the back. You don't need to say you're trying, because the fact that you're doing it proves that you are already doing it. Time just hasn't caught up yet. James Clear in the book Atomic Habits talks about this. He has two people who smoke cigarettes and they were both offered a cigarette. The first guy says, oh no, I'm trying to quit. And the second guy says, oh, I don't smoke cigarettes. Even if both of them had smoked yesterday, adopting the future self now method is going to help you tremendously. I am a person that doesn't drink. I am a person that doesn't drink. I am a person that doesn't drink. Hey, 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 hey. Check in with yourself daily. Ask, are my choices today compounding towards the life that I want? And now this is where you will be able to comment underneath this video with the video that we have watched. How can you apply a consistent action that you can commit to that will compound into a stronger, more unshakable sobriety journey? Go ahead, comment that now. And if you're wondering what this page is and why, where are you from, and what is your name, in the community, we have calls like this every single day. 10 calls a week for you to hop on, get to know the other girls, work on your sobriety, be heard, but also listen. And at the end of each call, we will always have a reflection segment, and then we open it up for discussion. So it's very empowering, it's very exciting, and I don't believe that sobriety has to be this sad, lonely thing. I do believe that even though there are going to be days where there are emotions that are pretty unfavorable, but you feel them and you allow yourself to heal from them, you can do it with people who want to do it with you. And these girls, they are, I get it, it's my community. But these girls have made such huge strides forward. They have really reframed their view towards alcohol and have shifted the way that they even think about drinking. And that is truly remarkable to see. So if you are interested and you want to become a part of this community, go ahead and click the link in this description and we will book a call so you and I can hop on and see if you are a good fit for the community and this is something that you would like to do. All right, thank you everybody for watching The Compound Effect. I'll talk to you on the next video. Goodbye.